early spring with a couple days of really nice weather here in the Midwest. Okay, it's going to get up to like 71 today. So since it's not going to rain till later and it started getting warm earlier in the week, my husband and I decided now would be a great time to, get the pop-up unwinterized and ready for the camping trip, the first one of the season, at the end of the month of March. Well, when we closed everything down last year, the plumbing worked just great. The only thing was the cold water never came through on the sink. But that's, it's the cold water. I still had hot water, and so we just worked with it. When we fired things up earlier this week, we couldn't get water at all. The city water hookup, there was no pressure coming here. Coming hot water, all of a sudden nothing was working. We took the lines apart. That was fun with the T's and stuff. Took the lines apart, cleaned them out. Everything was still good. Got water to the outside of the spigot. Thought maybe the pump was going. All right, so did a whole bunch of research on the pump, the SureFlow. I think it was a 2088 series. Pretty sure it's the original one. Ours is a 98 Coleman. Pop-up. Pump was fine. In fact, we even found, and you might want to check this out, you can take the pump out, take it to a local RV dealer, and some of them, for a small fee, it was like 20 bucks, will test it to tell you if that's even the problem, so you don't have to sit here and think about it. But when I came in this morning and tried to fire it fired up just fine. So I'm like, so my husband, who's at work, after we spent hours on it last night, I'm like, pump's working great now. We can get water to the outside, both hot and cold run on the outside shower. But we can't get anything out of the faucet. And so we had to come to the realization that it must be the spigot itself, the faucet itself. And so today, while, it's quiet, I have begun taking it apart so we can pull it out of here so that we can test and see, because I'm pretty sure this spigot is the original. So it's as old as my marriage. Okay? So we're going to try. I managed to get 3 out of the 4 screws off. I just finished taking my phone and taking a picture because it's up under here. As you can see, it's up under here and far back. You can't get it. Now, the connectors to the sink are pretty straightforward. I mean, we're not talking anything fancy here. If you've ever looked at the plumbing diagrams for these things, they're really straightforward, not like your house. But because it's in a blind spot, you can't use a drill in here, and you're pretty much, it's like putting the dryer drum back on its belt. You're doing it with your head in the drum, blind. Also, as a side suggestion, check the caulking around your sinks. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the original caulking because it's not caulking anymore. All right, yeah, and don't forget, most of them have these tension things that you got to grab. And, of course, you just put them in a cute little container or a bowl so they don't go anywhere. All right, here we go. Ha! We have success. All right, now to get some leverage. See if we can get some pull through here. Oh, more water. Always make sure you've got a couple towels on hand, because let's be honest, none of us are lucky enough to have completely dry spaces to work with here, because we tried to run it. Okay. I'm going to, I don't know, give me a minute here. Maybe. Okay, something's doing something back here. How about that? That looks like that works. All right, so I don't know if you can see this. It's caulking. Yeah, it's cracked. It just peels off. So I will be taking it. Maybe I don't have, there's a little bead here, but most of it is just coming straight off. So I will be cleaning this up, using this to get in here. You can also use a flat blade. Ladies, do not be afraid to do some of this stuff. It is not as difficult as you might think. Whoopsie, more water. Oh my goodness. The hot water is running. It's running beautifully. We're making a mess. Okay, you don't have to take it off. You just want to loosen, hope you can't even see it. You just want to loosen it here so it comes away. And then the trick will be, let me see, righty, tighty, lefty, loosey. Here we go. All right, so then the trick is, look at all that water coming through there. So I think it's safe to say, oh, wow, okay. I don't think it's the hot water that's the problem. Make sure you have turned off your pump. All right, just in case. You do not want your pump kicking on at this point. But I think it's safe to say the hot water is not the issue here, considering all the water that just came out of there. Oh my gosh, we're going to need more towels. It's a good thing it's going to be so warm today. Okay, but remember, we don't want it totally removed, we just want it loose. Now let's see how much water we get out of the cold line here. The hot line was leaking all over the place. The cold line has nothing. There is nothing in the cold line here. The hot line is still leaking. Oh wow, look at that. That might be part of our problem. Look at the calcium deposits in here. Now we know. All right, so now I know for a fact that the people, there's been 3 owners of this camper. The people who bought it new, who used it, gently, but, had fun with it. And then as soon as their family outgrew it, yeah, always pick up the water, guys. Don't leave it behind. This stuff isn't real wood. It'll just soak. Anyway, they used it gently. But but it was used. The second owners had it for over 10 years themselves, but they could never get the sink to function correctly, so they never used the sink. The drainage was always an issue. So that would lead me to believe, I think they said they used it once, maybe twice, and then they were struggling with it so much that they just didn't bother using the sink on the inside. They would use the outside spigot okay. But there is plenty of calcium buildup here, so I'm thinking that over time, I'm thinking over time and without regular maintenance, because it wasn't being used, so they didn't think about it, we created a buildup, and that's why this is not working like it should. Because as we saw, there was water in the hot line. So why the water was not coming through, whoop, that's kind of a spring-loaded thing. Anyhow, so we're hoping that it is simply a calcium buildup. Oh my goodness. It is simply a calcium buildup in here, which would require us to simply get a new one. Because, oh, yeah, look, see? Right there, yeah. I don't know, we might, much to my husband's dismay, oh my gosh, yes. There it is, guys, look at that. That is completely caked in there. So that would explain at least why water pressure was so touch and go. Does not necessarily explain why the hot water worked just fine, but we never got cold. So that'll be the next thing we have to figure out. Yeah, there's calcium all in there. That would have been the cold too. So I don't know. Maybe the cold was just completely closed off. For being an original piece and over 20 years old, this isn't in bad shape. All right, so as you can see, we completely cleaned the unit out. I used a little bit of baking soda and apple cider vinegar. Traditionally, you use regular vinegar, but I had apple cider on hand. Something that I'll do with my regular kitchen sink too. So cleaning off the surface here, right? Now, before I go to all the work of completely stripping the caulking, the broken caulking and everything, I am actually going to attempt to put this thing back together again and test the water. The other thing my husband asked me to do while I was in here, he wants me to get the drainage hose that's been causing us problems out from underneath the propane that goes to the stove, which is right next to it, so that it's not kinked and has a bit more freedom, a little bit more of a slope. So let's see if we can do that. To do that, I'm going to have to disconnect this which looks to be pretty cut and dry. And there is currently no propane connected to it. So, in fact, I'm going to go outside and make sure that there's no propane connected to it. I'm going to go disconnect everything. Okay, so I went out and double checked. There is no propane on. The tanks are tight off. I don't even know if there's stuff in the tanks because I remember my husband saying something about needing to get them filled before we go. So, if anything happens, hopefully the camera survives so that y'all can tell my husband what happened. Here we go. Okay, so I don't have the grip strength to twist it. So we're going to have to disconnect it from up here because this I know I can take care of and then feed it back through. So good news, not playing with the propane tank anymore. Of course that's a bigger one, but I came prepared. I have a small flat blade. You don't want it off completely, just loose enough to be able to work it. Okay, so sink is completely disconnected right now. We're going to run this under and around, or I mean the propane. So it sits on top instead of under the lines. We'll see if that improves our drainage this upcoming camping season. Put that down. Reconnect. Bring this up. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I have to tell you, these clamps are actually pretty nice. Okay, twist as tight as you can go, and then try to twist it a little bit more. For us ladies, that tends to do it. Okie dokie. Now, all right, so remember, oh, crap. Oh, for pity's sakes. Why you no thread? If I go like that, does that help? Oh, actually that did. That did something. Not a lot of something, but something. There we go. Okay. Okay. Make sure you put it on with the spigot facing the right way, because that would just be too embarrassing. I would never live that down. Todd would have a field day for the rest of our mortal married life if I did something like that. Don't tighten up the first one till you get the second one on. Kind of like the lug nuts on a car tire or wheel set. That way you've got a little bit of room in case you need it to wiggle. Okay. It's back on. It's facing the right way. Now let's make sure that we connect the cold with the cold and the hot with the hot. Now, in my camper, all the hot water lines are made of these slightly clear with the white ribbing. Hot goes into hot, and we went ahead and also made sure that we cleaned out the connector here. Line that thing up as far as it'll let you go. And then don't forget your metal piece here. You can kind of see where it was originally sitting. Do your best to get it back in that groove. Be careful when using sharp items, but there's still buildup in here that I want to try to get as much out as I can so that we're not having to do this anytime soon. Where's my towel? I found my towel. Trying to get that in there. Get as much of that dried and out as I can. Okay. Connecting it. Don't forget your metal connector here. Oh, we're going to have to get tight. We're getting close and personal. All right. It's back together again. It is not attached, obviously, because we talked about that. I'm going to check it out. But let's turn on the pump. And actually, we're still hooked up to the hose. So technically, we've got city water. So I suppose we could just go ahead and try the city water, huh? Oh my gosh, look! We did it! And it drains really good now too. Look at that hot water. You can hear the pump going. Okay, and it's draining really good. Oh crap, I think it's just draining into the... Oh, it's draining right into the driveway. We don't have anything under there. Okay, whoop, still going a little slower than I'd like, but it's draining a lot better. And then cold. Look at that. Woohoo! Go team us. Camping, here we come. Okay, so now I'm going to take the sink out again. I'm not going to disconnect it. I'm going to clean up all the old caulking around here so that when Todd gets home tonight, he can pull out the caulking and do that bit. And then I'm also going to have to clean up here, obviously, get all the grime out of the way, and put our kick panel back on because the pump was under the slide, which apparently it seems to be a pretty standard place for the pump to be if you're wondering where it is. Here we go. Got it out here. Needs clean too, so there we go. It's like if I want to wash my feet. What the hell? Does hot work? Did I turn off the pump? Yeah, I did. I turned off the pump. Okay, let's try this again. Turn the pump back on, although technically the city water... I don't think we got this thing nearly tight enough against the fence. We'll have to try for a tighter fit later. Okay, let's try this again. All right, we're ready. We got it. Thingy is out. Needs clean, but here we go. Nothing from the... Oh, there goes the pump. Nothing from the cold. Okay, nothing from the hot either. Now, what the heck? Because this was working just great before I fixed the other. Kind of running out. So water is on. Shall we try this again? Okay. Okay, now the cold's not working. Okay, so update. We got our sink to work okay, but now something we did has now decreased the ability for the outside shower to work. It might be, you know what? Wait, what's this up here? Volume control. Oh, hey, let's try that. Nope. All right. Is that off? That's off. Everything's off, right? But it's still leaking. I suppose it's very possible for the same issue here. It's possible that we have the same issue. Oh! Or we had the hose kinked. Okay. This looks promising. It's raining like magic. It's falling like stardust. It's raining like magic. Hey, it's raining life. I'd say that's a win. Okay, we are still on our A game. All right. Give me some comments. Let me know what you thought. Were you with me for the whole thing? Have you done this before? Did you come in at the tail end? Like and subscribe for the next adventure, because with us, it's never boring. There will be another adventure. It's us, Murphy's Law. Murphy is a member of our family. Either that or the universe just gets bored and likes to mess with us.